Morning everyone, the Mature Simmer here. So I'm waiting for my cotton contract to be accepted, and in the meantime I'm going ahead and working some customs contracts over on another Hilly Seneca server. So the map should look the same, but this is not my server, it's a different server. So they've got a few corn contracts to get done. So this is my second load of 5 for this contract, and I'm going ahead and helping out the folks locally in FSN just to get some contracts done while I wait. So as we talked about, this is a key part of things moving. When I have time, I certainly try to get a little bit of work done for others, just as I would hope they would do for me. So hopefully someone will pick up the cotton bale contract, because I'd like to sell that store, replace it, and pick up the rest of the bales, and at least know that I don't have any outstanding work. So yeah, there's some lag on this server periodically, which is not uncommon when you first sign in, but it's been pretty bad and going on quite a bit longer than I'm used to. So hopefully won't cause us any issues. Sometimes, especially in winter, where you have less forgiveness if suddenly you lose control of your vehicle. There you go again. It did it again, but hopefully it won't cause me any problems. You can see here I have tire marks that ran into the side of the building. That was when I signed on and then started to try to move here and start working the contract, that it got to like 8,000 milliseconds, and by the time I was done, even though I had let go of the gas right away, it still ran into the building. So it's not uncommon for trucks to end up in the cemetery down below or other things based on folks getting caught by the lag problems. You can see we're going red again in the mini map. So yeah, I was just starting to kind of think through what next year's going to bring on the farm. I'm thinking it's going to certainly be cereal crops, because that would be the normal rotation. It's just a matter of do I plant everything the same, so forth. So I'll have to see what I'm doing. This thing's really bouncing around quite a bit. Wow. So yeah, I'm immediately in the habit when that happens. I just take my foot off the gas, so at least it's not getting further input, because it will basically store all that and then execute it very, very quickly when the server finally catches up, which is how people end up in ditches and so forth. But you kind of learn that process as you go along. So it's really about 6:30 in the morning, versus this server's telling us it's 5:10 in the morning. So they're similar in time to us, assuming that they're semi-accurate in how they're set, but maybe they're an hour ahead of us as far as server time compared to Hilly Seneca. And I have found as a contractor, I tend to, for whatever reason, I'm always on in the evening. You know, this happens to be a server that's close to ours, but given that it's late autumn, the sun doesn't rise for a while. So I'll certainly be done with the contracts here before that happens. And we'll see what else goes on. There's another server that has several contracts that I might take a look at depending how much time I have today. But right now, that's the plan for today, is that I can do in FSN is run some contracts and maybe get my bales sold and cleaned up. So depending on what I'm able to do will determine what else appears in this episode. But for now, I'll talk to you later. Alright, I'm popping back in. Going into a Nebraska land server here, as you can see. And I've decided I'm going to spend a little bit of time helping someone harvest, which I have not done in a while. But I've done a customs contract on this map before, and it's a bit intriguing to me, so I wanted to see what it was like to pull some crops off the field. So they need some help on soybean harvest on 3 fields here. So I'll see what I can do. So I'm actually out here harvesting onions for a different FM, Casper, who just pulled his truck up here. So it's too wet to harvest soybeans, as you can see. So I was chatting with, it happens that both FMs are on the server. So Casper said, hey, I need some help over here, and root crops can be harvested while wet. So I don't really care which fields I work. I just kind of wanted to get some experience on the server. Now, this is a significantly smaller field than the ones with the soybeans, but it looks like they've got much of the stuff done. So I'm gonna go ahead and chat with these guys. You can kind of just watch me go along, and I'll be back to talk in a bit. Alright, so I'm back, I think, at this point. I'm not sure if he's maybe stepped away, he's not responding, but problem I had there was he's in the truck, so I can't move the truck over, so I had to drive over to the truck to empty myself out. Truck's not very big, so one load filled the front and part of the pup trailer, so this will get interesting if he's away from his keyboard, because I'm gonna fill this thing up when I come back next time for certain, because obviously the pup trailer's smaller than the front trailer. So this may turn into a interesting bit of assistance here. So yeah, I guess what I'm trying to figure out, and one of the reasons I decided to do this, is I have a little bit of time this morning, so while I wait for my contract to get picked up and allow me to go back and do some of that work, I figured I'll help someone else out. But as I try to figure out what I'm going to do in FS22, I'm just trying to determine, because I don't know what the other FMs are going to look for, if they're going to want a map similar to what we have now, if they're going to say, hey, if we're changing, let's really change and let's go with a bigger map. But either way, I kind of wanted the options open, and so I figured I'd try a bigger map, just because this one for some reason spoke to me a little bit when I was running a customs contract on it as something that might actually work. Why did that head turn like that? That is so strange. Does this thing know what it's doing? I don't understand. Alright, I'm going to turn this off. I'm trying to catch that little bit of onion here that I missed in the beginning, and it is just being really weird. What is this? I've never seen the GPS do something this messed up. It like clearly doesn't know what it's trying to line up with. Alright. So going backwards with this thing was just obviously really screwing it up, so that was really, really interesting. I don't know how else to describe it. So anyway, yeah, most of my experience on just these flat, large maps has been on Wild West, or a little bit on, I think it's Medicine Creek, which is a little less flat and at least has some varied field sizes. But this one, like I said, for some reason is a little bit more interesting. I think Wild West is just so large and so spread out that it feels almost barren and almost sterile. Where here, you know, you've got this little town and city right here that obviously the creator of the map did a good job with, just making it feel like something that fits. So there was a little bit of a feeling like, yeah, if I could find a big map like this, I could certainly be okay on a larger or more flat map, you know, with more rectangular fields, if that's what people want to try on our server. But I'm kind of open to see what happens, and obviously we're also stuck waiting to see what maps are released, because we've all definitely made the decision, I think, and that may change over time depending how long we need to wait, but that we're not really necessarily looking to do this on a server that, or on a map that came with the game. They're just not that intriguing enough that we felt we could stay busy with multiplayer over that period. Alright, so I haven't heard from Casper again, and I am now going to fill this, and I don't even know that I'll have enough space to like go and finish another row in the interim, but I guess we'll see what happens here. And this thing's taking a little bit more than I thought. I'm going to be at least half empty, so I should be able to go down the field one more time while I try to get him to respond to me. Because, yeah, if he doesn't get out of the truck, I can't get in there and use it, and I don't know what else he has. I mean, I know he talked about maybe running some goat milk for him if I wanted. But, but that doesn't necessarily mean he has a second truck. So yeah, I've got one of these harvesters, or one like it. I don't think I have this particular one. I think this is a John Deere. Let's see. It's green, where mine is red. So, but of course he could have painted it, but, you know, they are all similar though, the way they work. So, as you've probably seen, as I've gotten my cotton harvester, I've got one of these on the farm as well. For the few times I plant root crops, my initial thought was there were some farmers on our map who were going to do pigs, and I had been debating just working with them to provide the material for pig feed. And so the root crops are sitting in my root crop cellar, kind of based on some of that. And I've used it once for all kinds of root crops, including onions. So, obviously I know how these work pretty well. I mean, I've also used them as a contractor. Let's see if this works cleaner this time. Not sure that it is. I don't know, maybe it was, but this thing is just not behaving as it should with the guidance steering. But so I'll do a little bit, and then I'm going to have to go figure out if I can find another truck. Otherwise, I'm just really wasting time with this guy where I can't do any work because the harvester's going to be full in literally a moment because it's 45,000 capacity. There we go. And I can't get in the truck because he's in it. So let me see. His farm is here. Alright, it looks like he's got another truck there. That he's theoretically maybe harvesting. Is this done? Yeah, so this was corn. He's got some corn in here. Just not sure what to do. Let's see, because yeah, this looks to be his farm. I'd be surprised if he had more trucks than that. So I guess I'm going to go ahead and use this. I'll go put the corn in the silo. Trying to connect the cords here. There we go. I think he said he has a silo on 3, so oh boy. Alright, so I can't turn there because there's live crop in the field. So I'm going to have to drive up here and find a spot to turn around. Maybe up here, or is that crop 2? No, that's crop 2. Although this looks like it might be a harvested field. Just gotta be careful here that I don't end up somewhere that has something. I think it just might be oilseed as a cover crop, but I'm not entirely sure that you can drive over that without a problem. Alright, so let me see. His silo, I think, is there, so we'll see what I can do. Oh no, these are like selling silos? Because that's the root crop storage he wants stuff in, but where does he want the corn? Oh boy. I'm just not sure that these are his silos. I think they are. I mean, they are on 4, so I'm gonna assume they are. I'm gonna write down what I've got here. Oh, and these may just be, oh no, there's one. So I should be able to dump this here. But I want to make sure that I know what I had in case somehow this isn't his silo, and then he can get it back out. But in the interim, while I'm not getting a response from him, I can continue to work by using this other truck. So, making the executive decision to try to make some progress here and be useful to Casper, as opposed to simply waiting around for my boss to come back from break or whatever's going on. Gotta be careful I don't run over the crop, because that'll end my day real quick. Come on, why are you not? Oh, does this not take? This may not take what I have here. Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think I'm gonna be able to tell. I would just have to go to the trailers and take a look and find that trailer. So I think this is what I've got. Yeah. That's the problem. These don't take. These don't take what I have. So, best laid plans, but I can't do anything because I can't disconnect from that. So what I may do, since he's not responding, is just finish up. So obviously I don't want to continue to have him build the 5,000 an hour I get as a contractor for me to be sitting around. Because normally what folks will do when they know they're going to be away is they'll, you know, jump out of the cab so that people can jump in. But I'll put this back where I found it. And then when they start doing corn again, they'll be good. So, alright. Guess that's all I'm gonna be able to do. So, yeah, this is pretty rare where we kind of run into a snafu like this, but the other FM looks like he's willing to let me use one of his trucks to get the work done. I guess while I'm waiting, let me just make sure. So it looks like the root crop is down over there somewhere. It's still a little too dark to see, but I'm guessing it's over in that area. I mean, I could keep driving over there, but that just seems incredibly inefficient. Let's see, where is, oh, he's down here. Let's see. Yeah, there isn't much left here. You can see the end of the green. Looking at the map, it looks like that's literally all that's left. He may just not have planted this entire field. So 31, 32, and 33 was what I had originally popped on here for to do the soybean harvest, but they're basically done with that. And once again, the crops were too wet anyway to do anything. Alright, looks like he's on the way. So I will wait. It won't take too long. It just, if he wasn't moving, once again, I just don't like to kind of be earning money because the timer's running and not be trying to get some work done for these guys. So, but at this point, it would take me just as long to drive down to the root crop and cellar and come back here than it likely will be for him to get here with the truck. And at least if I'm moving the crop in the truck, that's just, once again, a lot faster than driving this thing down every time. So now he's on the mini map. So he's coming up through town here. He should be visible to us pretty soon. I assume he's going to go up to that road that is to the left, which is to the north of us. And he'll come by where that other truck is, so we should see some headlights soon. And be able to continue. At this point, it won't let me lower the header. Here he is. So I assume I'd let him know I'm in the field full, so I'm assuming he'll just pull up and empty me out. And maybe he'll be so kind as to actually drive over to the root crop cellar. Oh, this is just a tiny little truck. Well, it is what it is. At least I can keep moving, so there we go. Now I can put my header down since I'm partially empty. But yeah, he may not even be able to fully empty me. I don't remember the capacity of these, although I think it is a little bit larger than one of these harvesters. Yeah, looks like we're in pretty good shape. And yeah, I think he just left the truck for me here, so at least I can can't. Can I get in? Oh boy. But yeah, at least I feel good that maybe I've got a path forward here for getting Casper's crop off the ground. And we'll see where things go. I've got a little bit of time. You know, that can change, obviously, but right now I've got some time. And I'll just keep pressing along and helping out. And hopefully I can be here long enough that I get some sunrise and I can see this place in all its sunlit glory, because that's, again, part of what I was hoping for. Obviously, when I joined, I didn't know what time the server was going to be, but they're, once again, if I'm assuming that their time is accurate, it seems like they're a couple hours behind our server time. So, where, you know, it'd be 8:30 if I was back on Hilly Seneca. So I think at that point I would certainly have full daylight, but who knows, on late autumn it might be a little bit later. I think I should be able to get to the end of this row and turn around, which will work, because then I can just continue to run the harvester a couple rows and be facing in the correct direction when I need to empty it. So we'll get this lined up appropriately. And so, yeah, I mean, it gives me something different to do here, gives all of you something different to see, given that I can get these root crops done. And so a little bit of fun here on this episode. It's a little bit of variation of what we've been seeing for quite a while, just working the farm as you would normally do, kind of repetitively and so forth. Alright, it ran away from me a little bit. GPS took over. So I may have run over a little bit of onion, but anyway, let me see. So in theory I can get into this truck. Cool. Alright, so it's 76% full. I'm not sure if I need to connect these up or not. I'm not sure. It's been a long time since I used one of these crampy trailers, or cramp, I'm not even sure how you pronounce them. So I'm going to keep working this. I'll put it on, probably end up putting this on time-lapse, so that as the sun comes up you can see what's going on. But I think I've shared what I've got on my mind at this point, and you've certainly seen me go up and down this field enough times that if you're still here, I thank you. But it's certainly, like anything with farming, gets repetitive pretty quickly, and I've got nothing else to say to you to keep you entertained, so enjoy the time lapse. finishing up here. Done with the onions. Still not enough sunlight to really see, but I've got to jump off, so unfortunately, unless I pop back, I'm not going to get to see what I wanted to see, which was just how this map looks when you can actually see it. So one of the things when you're working contracts that I like to do, I think most people do it, but it seems like people are so grateful when you do it that maybe not, is I just fuel up and whatchamacallit, fuel up and clean up the vehicles. He's gonna run me over. He's coming along, but whoops. I can go through here. It's harvested. So this is always the fun with maps you're not aware of on in the dark. Is roads. You don't know where roads are and so forth, so it gets a little challenging, but looks like he has fuel here. Yep. So we'll go ahead and we'll fill up. We'll repair up. And the challenge is finding a pressure washer. It's not always the most obvious thing, but yeah, just that way the equipment is ready for them and they're good to go to use it in the future. And they're not, you know, having any kind of issues. There should be. This looks like. Is this not the repair? I wonder if it's because I don't have rights on the farm. So, is that, no. Is that a pressure washer? Yes. I love the dark. So I'll just get this cleaned up. Give them some nice vehicles. The local FM was able to help me with the contract, and so I've sold the bale store. I've put up a new one and collected the bales, and you can see I've got 9, which is what I thought I'd have. And so we've got a good start on the next batch. Well, I found one more. So we have 10. I'm gonna look at the other fields too and see if I overlooked any in the dark. But I believe this should be it. Otherwise I got substantially more bales than I would have expected. Again, I get 1 or 2 bales isn't substantial, but they are when they're 20,000 liter bales.